hard working every day. Not a lazy mom, got no time to play. Always on the go, you stuck on the flow, but it's time for the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our amazing Not for Lazy Moms podcast and dads.
How y'all doing? Good to see y'all again.
So we have the amazing co-host Chris Samuels, as always, my hubby. And we have the amazing Allie Jacobs. Look, I'm always calling you by your maiden name, and then I call you by your married name. What name do you prefer? Because y'all know Allie, she's a former DC radio host. She had her own show and everything back in the day. So you went as Allie Jacobs back then, right?
I did. So that's why when I got married, I actually took away my middle name and made Jacobs my middle name, because I feel like, especially, in the DMV area, everybody knows me as Allie Jacobs. So.
Right. Okay. I always, like, whenever I'm like putting your name down, like when we're doing press or anything, I'm like, shoot, am I supposed to put her married name or her maiden name? But
when I'm acting crazy, just go Allie Jacobs, because my husband is so.
Well, look, I'm really excited about today's topic because everybody can relate to this. Whether you have kids or not, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Busy being unproductive. How many times do we wake up in the morning and we're like nonstop all day, and then you hit your feet at the end of your bed at the middle of the night when it's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock going into the next day, and you're like, what the heck did I do all day? I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. I feel like every day is running into the next. And a lot of times when you have kids, that happens even more. So I really want to dig into this topic today, and I feel like it's going to really help some people. And also I'll be preaching to myself. So we can just go ahead and get started. What do you think about it, Allie?
I mean, I feel like, yes, to all of it. I feel like that's incredibly relatable, especially when you have kids. You're not only responsible for everything you have to do, but you're responsible for everything that your kids have to do, especially if they're at a young age. I mean, they're not going to pack their lunches and, set their homework or virtual school or whatever have you. You need to be responsible for them as well. So it's just like the amount of stuff you have to do as soon as your eyes open in the morning, it's overwhelming. It makes you scatterbrained. I have found, and I'll share with you some ways that I have found myself kind of being able to manage it a little bit better, because it was getting out of control, where at the end of the day, I'm like, what did I just do? Like, I feel like I did a whole lot of nothing, but I felt so busy.
Yes. And it's so frustrating, because I think that for me is when the mom guilt does kick in, because I'll have my mind set like, okay, today when I get going, I'm going to make sure that I just stop and take a second and hug on my kids and just and that hardly ever happens. It's like, sit down, do that, stop that. What are you doing? Leave your sister alone. Get from over there. Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm ready to go to bed. Mommy, I'm tired, or whining in between. And it's like my cuddles go to like wanting to ring around their neck, like go sit down somewhere.
Yeah. But I will tell you, Monique, like what you're saying to me, I feel like we have this in our minds that productive means checking things off, right? Like folding clothes, doing our errands and stuff. But productive also as a mom and dad is, being present with your kids. And hey, did I, take a deep breath instead of being short with them over something? Like, I think being productive doesn't just have to be getting so much stuff done. And honestly, I think the quarantine has taught me to slow down and to be like, all right, you know what? I was productive today because I had a great time with my son. We had a great conversation, and neither one of us had a temper tantrum.
Yes.
One big thing for me is just cleaning up behind the kids. It seems like early in the morning, whether it's Monique getting up or I'm getting up with the kids, we get them breakfast. They have their plates. You do their plates, and it's all day long, constantly picking up toys, doing dishes all day long, only to find out at the end of the night that it's a whole bunch of crap still laid out. That's frustrating for me.
Yes. And I witness it. And sometimes I feel like a drill sergeant, because I know if I just say, hey, make sure y'all clean up when y'all are done, and I leave the room, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I have to just stop and stand there, and literally I'll be like, okay, put everything that you're working on inside this bin. It literally just happened like an hour ago. I said, go get the bin from the closet. Whatever you're working on, put it in the bin. Okay, mommy. I turn around 2 seconds later, they're still working or they're picking up something else. I was like, wait, Christopher, what did I just ask you to do? I'm like, go get the bin. I'll just keep repeating it. And now they think it's funny. I'll say, pick up the paper, put it in a bin. Pick up the paper, put it in a bin. Pick up the paper. And they just start laughing. I'm like, but it's necessary for y'all to get it through your head because it's just like one ear out the other.
Oh,
Another thing is that the quarantine has definitely been a blessing for the Samuels family because it really allowed me to just really take a step back and realize what's more important. What do I need to get done? What's urgent? What can wait? And then actually create a routine so that I can stick to it. And I don't feel like every day I've accomplished nothing. Throughout this quarantine, I finished writing my book. I self-published it. I went through a whole month of just reading about how to become a self-published author and how to create a publishing company so that other moms can be published under the Not for Lazy Moms books name. I was able to record and release a song. I worked on a lyric video for a few weeks with a young man who is overseas. And I mean, it was like me being very detailed as to what I wanted to see. I was able to work on some episodes for season 3 of the Not for Lazy Moms podcast, get new content. The list goes on and on. I started my own essential oils line, Meadle Eve Essentials. I had to literally receive samples and figure out what oils I want to launch with, figure out what I want them to look like, do the whole design phase, do the whole designing of the labels for the bottles and the packaging. It goes on and on. But what makes me most proud is that we implemented so many family routines that keep us connected with our kids. Me and my husband both, we started doing nighttime meditation. And what I love about that is that we're doing it as a family. We're clearing our minds. We're able to calm ourselves before we go to sleep. And then we say positive affirmations. We talk about what we loved most about the day. What do we value most? Like, so the kids will say things like food, family, love, trees, So it's been amazing because we're able to create a routine. And I think sometimes that's what helps us be more productive, which is just having a routine. And all right, on Tuesdays, I'm just going to spend time with the kids. So now I don't feel like I'm busy being unproductive because I was productive in the sense that I was able to spend that family time and my kids are so happy.
Absolutely. And it's those family days that mean the most to them. And you can actually be present and enjoy it, knowing how much you got done the day before.
Yeah.
I will say that, so quarantine has taught me about, have you heard of bullet journaling at all? Okay. So to me, like writing in a journal sounds very overwhelming. Like I'm not going to write diary entries every night. I just don't have time for that. Yeah. And I don't think my brain can handle that at the end of the night. So what I've been doing is called bullet journaling. And you just like jot down random things. It could be something your, son said that made you laugh today, or something that maybe you wished you didn't do that you had a better reaction on. But it's also writing down things that you need to get done. So for me, I would write down everything that I would need to get done the next day. And I would look at it and take a step back and be like, okay, let me prioritize. What is the most important thing that needs to get done? Is it folding the, clothes that have been sitting in the laundry room for a week? Or is it, running to the grocery store, and kind of number it all out. And that way it's not as overwhelming. It seems like a little more manageable. And then at the end of the day, you see how much you got done. And even if you didn't get everything done, the fact that you still got some of it, you're proud of yourself for. You're like, all right, I did that. So it's been working.
Oh, okay. I never gave it that term, but I am the checklist queen.
Okay. It's similar.
Yeah,
It's
But no, that's so funny. We have an app on our phone, which I'm going to be making a similar feature of this particular app concept that will be a part of the Not for Lazy Moms app that's going to be available the early part of next year. And I love to just like make a list and just see those little checks coming off. Mm-hmm. Like it is the best thing in the world, because that is something that I implemented a while ago to make sure that I was on track. So for every project that I'm working on, I'll have a checklist next to I'll have that project title. I'll have a checklist underneath it for all of the things I need to accomplish for that particular project. But what I like about what you just said, you just gave me an idea to start having a family subject area. So every day I can check off things that are particular to my family. So how many times did I say I love you? How many times did I give you kisses and hugs? How many times did we just sit down and just take a deep breath together? You like it?
Yeah. How many times, nothing.
There you go. I promise y'all, he's not an info. He's not a sex addict.
I just like to clown and have a good time.
He just likes to talk about sex a whole lot. I'm awesome. I apologize. I don't even know why he's still talking about sex when we had sex last night, and it was great. It was great. I handled all of that, and he still talks about sex. So I apologize to the listeners out there because
I didn't even say the word sex.
He was about to. I felt.
No, I wasn't going to say it. She said it. She must be thinking about it.
Well, I mean, I am thinking about last night. It was very nice. So very refreshing. But
I like this checklist.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I'm over here.
We got to put that little bracket. Make sure that's on there.
Yes, but that's true. A marriage checklist. So maybe that's something we can start doing.
That'd be great.
Because sometimes you'll have every intention to wake up and say, "Let me kiss my spouse as soon as I wake up." For me, I need to wait till after he brushes his teeth.
It's funny she says that, not about the tea part, but she was so busy working on, she has like 5 different things going on business-wise. And for 3 or 4 weeks, I'm not getting any attention, no kisses, no I love you, just walk by and stroke my shoulder, something. I got pissed off. Like, we had to have a conversation about that. So we definitely need the family checklist and the spouse checklist.
Yes. No, he's absolutely right. And but that's when I throw it back on him and say, well, why can't you initiate?
I started doing it.
And he did. Yes. He started doing it. I would be on a computer in the office working hard, and he would walk in. He would start rubbing my shoulders. He would give me a kiss, and he'd just like, baby, I love you. I'm like, oh, thank you. He'd be like, baby, I'm really proud of you. You doing your thing. I'm like, okay.
That's right. That's how you do it.
He did.
Romance.
Yeah. And the checklist could help as well when, your husband starts getting frustrated and saying, hey, we haven't had sex in a while, or hey, we haven't been intimate in a while. What's going on? Then you can look at your checklist and be like, you know what?
Right there.
He ain't lying.
I better go tighten this man up.
Right. You know what? I haven't checked that off in a while. So yeah, he's right. Let me go ahead and handle that. You don't want nobody else handling it for you. But yeah, no, I love that. So having adding in marriage, adding in family, adding in and then having your business and everything else that you want to achieve and accomplish. Sometimes being a stay-at-home mom mixed with an entrepreneur is difficult because being a mom is very fulfilling. But some of us women, I know you're the same way, Allie. I know I am. And sometimes we want to feel fulfilled in our work. We have other areas that we really desire to show our strengths and take a break from that mommy mode. So sometimes it can be very difficult. And I know Chris, even being a stay-at-home dad now, he's retired and he coaches high school football. But right now, T'Challa.
Yeah,
but right
he's
now,
saying his name and everything in the background.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's trying to get all up in the conversation. I guess he's talking about his checklist too. So right now, Chris is at home more. His team is not playing. They're not having a season this year, which really sucks.
Maybe in the spring and March, but we'll see. But
yeah. How do you think having all of this free time is, do you think it's helpful for you? Are you going to like create a checklist and start doing some things? Because
no, listen, I'm very hands-on with the kids.
Yes,
Monique kind of, the day-to-day business stuff, she handles all of that. And then we have an assistant too, which is great. And, but I'm pretty much with the kids, taking the young one to the bathroom, cleaning up behind them, feeding them. Oh, yes.
I know, I'm just laughing.
Majority of the time, I'm the one. I'm basically the woman right now. I'm doing all of it.
You're a good stay-at-home dad.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
it's not basically a woman. We need
all right,
to
you
stop.
know what? All right, stop. Don't beat
that.
me up. Let me
clean it up.
Let's get that out.
No. This is raw dog. No,
I'm the woman back in the day, like in 1818. That's
the traditional, right?
Yeah, right. Back in the day, that was the woman's role. So that's kind of what I got going on.
You are a new generational dad because the concept of being a father years ago was just basically being the sperm donor and then paying the bills.
And working hard.
Right, paying the bills, providing. But to me, a full father is also dealing with the kids, handling the kids, helping with potty training. It should not, we need to change our mindset as far as thinking that it's the woman's job to do things and plan things out with the kids. And that's what I love about the growth that we've had is that you see that and you act on that and you're actually doing it. You're being a dad. It's not even I'm taking on the woman's role. No, I was
talking about 18 with the women.
Okay, but that's what a father should do. No,
but she's right. One thing. I'm sorry, I got to cut you off because I feel like I'm getting butchered right here, right now. I need to get up out of this some kind of way. I mean, just wiggle out, But no, at the end of the day, Monique is right. For a long time, I would just sit on the couch and whatever happened, it was Monique making it happen, and that frustrated her. And for years, she would tell me this, and I never really listened, and then all of a sudden I'm finding myself in this major disconnect, from Monique.
Yes.
And I'm sitting wondering, like, all right, what's going on? She's not really, into me right now, but she's frustrated. And in our counseling sessions and different things or whatever, we were able to open up and kind of express those things. And it was finally for me to actually receive it and listen. So now I'm much more active. We need to get up, get out of the house. Let's go to lunch. I took the kids, the oldest two kids, to the river, Great Falls. We went out there to, beautiful pictures and spending time. So, and I'm starting to figure out, especially in the last probably 2 to 3 months, Monique is a high energy person.
Yes.
And she feeds off energy. If my energy's dead, she's going to be dead.
Yes.
So right now I am bouncing off the wall, drinking Red Bulls and everything else. So I can get this energy, but it's true.
But no, that's true. And it's like, I just want for the dads that are listening out there, to change that mindset of, oh, I'm babysitting my kids. There's no way you can babysit your own kids. You babysit other people's kids. So it's more so I'm actually doing my job. I'm being hands-on, and there's certain things that money just cannot buy. But money cannot buy time. Money cannot buy intimacy. Money cannot buy affection or those cuddles and kisses that we need and our kids need. So I love that you're able to say that, because I think you expressing that is going to help some of the listeners out there right now who are struggling with that.
Well, I was just going to say, and I know we talked about this in prior seasons, but maybe we revisit it in a future episode, just because that stereotype is still there with dads. I mean, my husband is incredible. Like he reminds me of you, Chris, with the kids and stuff. I mean, my husband loves spending time with the kids. He loves helping out. He drives my son Sam to school every morning, and his teacher is like shocked by it. She's like, it's so nice to see a dad here. And it's like, my husband's like, wait, what does that even mean? Like, I enjoy this time. I enjoy the car ride over and, bringing him with his little backpack and stuff. So I think that stereotype is there, which maybe gives some dads the excuse to kind of behave still that way. I don't know. But yeah, I do think that it's still an issue.
Yes. So we just need for more parents to listen to Not for Lazy Moms podcast. Follow us on our website, because we give all kind of tips and tricks for getting out of that, that mindset and that thought process. But another thing I wanted to talk about is the big P word. And I'm not talking about the word you're thinking about, Chris. I'm talking about procrastination. Procrastination. Oh my God, it is the devil. And I think it's one of those things that you'll never fully overcome. It's like you go in waves. It's just like balance. Like you go in waves of finding where you feel like this moment, I feel like I have it all together. And then the next moment, you're tipping that scale again. Procrastination is just hard to overcome, and it's hard to deal with. And I really do want to give some tips for how to overcome procrastination. Some of you are listening right now who have business ideas, who have the desire to write that book or to, venture out on your passion and start that blog or, anything. And to me, I actually dealt with it as well when I first started Not for Lazy Moms. I remember being the perfectionist that I am. Years ago, I started Not for Lazy Moms when Christopher was a little over a year old. And I felt as though I needed to have 50 articles already written. I felt like I needed to have a website already to go. And because I had this whole thought process, I did nothing. I kept saying, I need this, I need that, I have to have this in place, I need to have that in place. And my husband looked at me and he said, just do it. And I'm like, yeah, but no, I have to have all of this stuff ready first. I've started writing this article. I need 29 more. And he's like, just start like a group. Like he said, you're on Facebook. He said, just start a page on Facebook and then let it grow. Really, T'Challa? He did not just
Don't
land
put them by me.
right on the laptop. Are you serious right now? He said, I have some things to say because I'm a procrastinator too. I cannot believe him. You are funny. Go to your perch. And he doesn't even want to go. He landed on the chair here. You better not poop in my chair. Anyway, I think that, darn, I'm like,
no, you were basically saying that, stop procrastinating and
which you
put it
gave
on
me the
Facebook,
advice.
the group,
So Chris actually, he encouraged me. He said, just start it with a Facebook page. He said, let it grow. He said, so while you are still writing those articles, you can start creating that base so that when you do have the website, you'll have people who actually know about it and will go to it from there. I was like, oh, you're right. And it was like over a year later that I finally created that Facebook page. And I started making my own little videos and making posts and started creating a small following. And then it just took off from there. So sometimes what you have to do is just do. Everything. It's almost like the universe just feels your energy once you start putting that action into motion, even if it's a small gesture. But to sit and let that idea just stay in your head, it's never going to go anywhere until you start actually putting the action behind it. Do something. And then the more you do, you'll start meeting the people who need to be on your team to help you push that vision through. And I'll give a testimony even to Allie for people that are listening right now. When they ask, how did Not for Lazy Moms podcast begin? I had the desire to have my own podcast for this company. I only had the website at the time. And I made it a mission to be on as many podcasts as possible so that I could understand what podcasting was about. I was researching it online. I'm looking things up. I went to my first live podcast, which was the Hey Phrase podcast show. And it was Sarah Fraser and Paul Wharton. And I watched them on stage and I said, this is everything that I want. I want a podcast and I want to start doing live shows. I did a podcast with Allie at the time. She had her own podcast with another mom. And that was the beginning of the deals that I had for Not for Lazy Moms. She actually introduced me to the people I needed to know with iHeartMedia. And Allie, I'll let you tell the rest.
Honestly, it's you meet you, Monique, and you're such a natural where it's like you were born to do this. You were born to have your own show because you're so relatable and informative. And so it just made sense. And it's one of those things where, people who are listening, it's obvious, like you just have it. I will. And you should be so proud of like you said, it started out as a Facebook page. Yeah. And the whole thing of, talking about procrastination, I feel like because this idea, all of it just seems so overwhelming. Like as you were talking, I thought about like moving into a new house, right? And having all of your stuff in so many boxes and you just sit in this empty house filled with boxes and just stare at everything. And you don't even want to unpack anything because it all is just too much. So you just take one box, one room at a time. And I feel like that's something like what you did. You started with a Facebook page and then you grew it from there. And I feel like, when you look at it like that, just taking it one little thing at a time, one step at a time, it's much more manageable. So you don't feel like you have to procrastinate.
Well, yes. It kind of reminds me of, people who procrastinate about working out. I know I've been there. And eventually you got to get off the couch. You got to go work out. And maybe it's 2 times for that week. And then you get a little bit better. Maybe the next week is 3 times and 4 times. And then before you know it, you're back in shape. Simple as that.
And it's hard. It's hard to make that first move. But once you make that first move, everything just starts to flow. And it definitely is like a workout because growth is hard. When you work out, you get that soreness. Your muscles are tearing and repairing themselves. So it's almost like getting out of yourself, getting out of your own head, putting that idea and just doing it. And all of the people that you need will just start falling in line. Like who knew that I would be featuring on Allie's podcast show? And then she would help me to get my own deal and then became a part of the team. Like, it's amazing. And I'm so grateful for you, because that is what, to me, girl power is all about. It's like we keep trying to just build each other. And at the same time, both of us are growing. And Allie, you have your business now. Can you tell the people about what you do outside of Not for Lazy Moms? Because I think it's incredible.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I do feel like we help each other be productive, you know? So it's like everybody's supporting each other. I do brand consulting. So we always say it's like, if you make these delicious cupcakes, but you have no idea how to tell people about them, that's where we come in. And we, you know, whether it's digital marketing or building you a website or social media, we do stuff like that. But I will say that this is still like, because I used to do radio and used to do that doing this podcast is just so much fun. And it's nice because it's just like chatting with fellow friends about stuff we're going through at the end of the day. We kind of like motivate each other, which is nice as well.
Yes. I think another important thing when it comes to trying to get out of that busy being unproductive mode is surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded. They don't have to have the same business desires as you, but let them be people that speak positive energy into your life, speak positive words. The people that will look at you and say, I don't think that's going to work. If they're not doing it in a way where they're challenging you to think more outside the box, don't tell those people what you're trying to do. Only share what is close to your heart when it comes to your desires on a professional level, family level, marriage level. Share that with people who can receive it, nurture it, and breathe life into it for you and speak back to you. And that's one thing that I love about whenever we do have our meetings, even with our Not for Lazy Moms team, we all are business owners and we're all bringing it together and trying to figure out ways so that we can keep promoting each other, keep each other accountable, and keep pushing each other to that next level. And I don't think that I would be able to do what I'm doing right now if I did not have that base of real women that can sit around, talk about what we're going through, share those journeys, and then turn all of that into a story that we can share with the people that follow us. So it's a pretty amazing thing. And I think sometimes people don't understand how important it is to surround yourself with like-minded people, because you'll just be frustrated. And when I told my vision of Not for Lazy Moms to some of my former friends, the first thing they did was they were like, well, how can that turn into a profit? And I said, well, that's really not my goal right now. My desire is to help people. And I really want people to know that they're not alone in whatever journeys they're going through and whatever struggles they have. So the money will come eventually, it will. But that wasn't what was driving me. My passion was driving me. So that's another way that you can also be more productive, is focusing on what you're passionate about.
I'm sorry, real quick. This bird is eating my kids' toys, and I'm not about to hear my 7-year-old freak out.
You go ahead and tell him.
I was just going to scare him.
No, it's fine. I'm going to get him while you tell everybody about
what?
Some of the ways you overcame procrastination with your football, how you became this great coach.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I still procrastinate on getting stuff done. You know, I got a truck out there that's been broke down for a few months and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. So, but when it comes to football, I really don't procrastinate much, you know, on the coaching side. I'm always busting my hump, preparing plays, getting stuff done, because I have to have it ready by practice time. And that way we can, you know, have a successful game plan for the game on Friday nights. But I am a procrastinator, and thank God I married somebody that's not, and that's Monique. She gets stuff done. She has a checklist. And I just kind of follow suit, to be honest with you.
Honestly, though, I feel like we need that partner that kind of can push us and help us to get stuff done. I did really also want to ask you both if you start your day in a certain way that kind of helps the productivity, if that makes sense. You know, if there's,
I'm going to just be 100 with y'all. When I start my day, it's more so like, why are they up already? Yes. I'm so tired. Because a lot of times I'm ending my night like so late. So for me, it is good to have that start of the day routine, and that works for some people. But me personally, it's how I end my day. So I'll rub my little massage oil on my shoulders, underneath my feet. I light my little sage, or I turn my diffuser on, and I play my nighttime meditation music on repeat the entire night. And I get as good sleep as I can. So it's not sometimes like about how many hours of sleep I get. it's the quality for me. So as long as I'm getting good quality sleep, my kids, you know, sometimes they're waking us up and I've only had 4 hours. But if I got that good quality of sleep, I'll wake up, I kind of like lay there for a second. I'm just like, and then I'll go ahead and get up, get dressed, get my day going, and, you know, get the kids together and everything.
I will say, my husband and I, we always like wind down at the end of the day. We use this CBD face serum. We like rub it on our face. It relaxes us. So we always make sure that we go to bed super chill, calm, relaxed. When we start the day though, and you're right, it's like the little ones come in and you're like, are you kidding me? You can never just wake up on your own terms.
Yeah.
But what I've started doing is I read an article somewhere about like how making your bed, and I'm not even talking about like fluffing your pillows or anything fancy, just really flattening the sheet and the blanket can help you be more productive throughout the day. It's just like a good way to start the morning. So I try to do that every single day. And that way at the end of the night, when I come into my room, you know, for my CBD face serum, I'm like, I see the bed and it's made and it just makes me feel so much happier and stuff like that.
Yes. No, I like that. We actually grew up in a house where we were required to make our bed every morning. And you know how you have a spouse and then you start turning it into that spouse. Mm-hmm. So no, it's not a bad thing. So Chris has taught me to take the edge off. And I remember when we were first dating and then we started living together, I was making the bed every day. And he was like, why are you making the bed when we're just going to get back in it?
Just mess it up.
And I was just like, what? What do you mean? That's what you do. You make the bed. And then it just kind of dawned on me like, you know what? I've been doing this my whole life because it was just something I was taught to do. But it actually, I'm very high strung. So that was helpful for me, for him to take that pressure off and say, look, leave the bed alone. Like, don't make the bed. Just leave it. Survive. You know, like it's going to be okay. And I'm just like, no, I got to make the bed. And it actually changed me in a sense where I was able to just be more relaxed. So I had the opposite effect, but I totally feel you. It's like having a routine, whatever that routine is, it does help and it does comfort you and kind of helps you to have a great day.
Definitely.
What's your routine?
I just adjust. That's my routine because you never know what's coming towards you that particular morning. You can have a happy baby waking up. You can have happy kids. You can have a sad kid. You can have a frustrated kid, a kid with a nightmare. I don't want to eat this. I want oatmeal. I mean, so I just adjust. That's my routine. I just, try to, help Monique as much as possible. Doing my job with the kids and,
Stop saying help Monique. You helping us.
No. But at the end of the day, no, Monique is handling 4 or 5 different businesses, right? We have kids, they're young, so at the end of the day, I'm not working, all of my money was made from football. I'm retired. I just volunteer at the high school. So my biggest thing is I want to help Monique and take some stress off of her so she can focus on her projects.
Thank you. And it's crazy because you kind of go through those time cycles in life where there was a time where that was me. Like Chris was the one out there making that NFL bread. And then he was going to the high school coaching and then college coaching and everything else. And I was that down person that was just like, I got you. That's right. You focus on your work and I got everything else covered. So now it's like the roles have kind of reversed and he's accomplished. He's done all that he wanted to do. And he wants to be a family man and be home and then coach high school on the side. And I love that. I can't wait to get to that level where I feel like I've done it all. I've accomplished everything I really wanted to do. And then I can just sit back and say, well done. I did it.
No, it's so funny she said that because one time, and her family was in town and we're back and forth. She was like, well, I'm the type person, once I accomplish something, then I'm going to accomplish this. And I want to do that. And I want to do that. And I'm like, not for me. Like, I feel like I'm accomplished. Now I want to reap the benefits and enjoy myself. And that's just how you are. You look at other people, they taking their careers and they doing it. I said, well, that's not me. This is what I want to do. And I want to enjoy my kids because I look at, for instance, Michael Strahan, he's done a wonderful job on the football field. He's in the Hall of Fame. But then now look at his career. He's hosting red carpet events and he's on talk shows and game shows and all of that. But at the end of the day, that's for Michael. For me, my thing is, and no slight on Michael by no means, I'm pretty sure he's a great dad. He's an awesome guy. But at the end of the day, my thing is I want to be hands-on with my kids and see them grow and, mold and shape them. And I want to be more hands-on and spend time with them. So this is my path. This is what I like.
And these are the years that are those fundamental years that are so important when they're young. Our kids are 7, 5, and almost 2. So these are the times where they actually want to be around us and they think that we're the greatest and we're superheroes and all of that good stuff. And there will be a time where they're in their teenage years and they don't even want to see us or deal with us. They're going to want to be with their friends. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and, nurture that moment, which is why I love that my business in itself is based around family. So I'm able to just kind of document what it is I'm going through on a daily basis with my young children. So
definitely.
So we'll give y'all some tips. We actually gave a lot of tips as we were talking, but I think that the one thing that stuck out in my mind that I loved is the tip that Allie gave about the bullet journaling or bullet diary. I think that's genius. And I'm going to implement that into what I already do, which is my little checklist, but do one for family, do one for marriage. And now every day, and I don't want it to be ingenuine. I want it to be like, I don't want to say, oh, I gave him a hug. Oh, I gave him a kiss. I'm
not even going to go there. I'm just listening. But it needs to be natural, though. But it's just a checklist to hold you accountable to those things. That's all.
Right. Just to make sure that you're not so out of tune with the basic needs of your family or the basic needs in your marriage, so that you're not so out of tune with those things. And I think another good tip is to just pace yourself. I love having office hours. I think that helps me be more productive because I'm giving myself a time limit as to when I can focus on my work. And then I'm done. I'm putting the work down and now I'm focused on my kids. I'm not going out. I'm not hanging out with friends on certain days. The weekends are reserved for family and I love it. So you have any other tips?
Just adapt. Be flexible. Right? Yeah. That's it. Because that's what I have to do on a daily basis.
That's actually really, really good tip.
I knew it was. I mean, you ever doubted me? I mean, no. I
wouldn't have you on this podcast if I was going to doubt you now. What about you, Al? You have any more tips? I know I saw yours.
So one thing that I do, if I have like little tiny things that I have to do throughout the day, like unload the dishwasher, fold clothes, I actually make it a game for myself and I'll set Alexa. I'll be like, Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes and I'll see if I can unload the dishwasher in that amount of time. My husband thinks I'm insane he was like, are you in your own little, double dare game right now or something? But yes, I like to do that. And it helps me get stuff done.
No,
whatever works.
That's so funny you say that because I pretty much load the dishwasher every day. So I think I'm gonna start challenging myself with a little stopwatch.
Yes. Yeah, seriously. It takes him all day. I swear, every time I turn around, he's in that dishwasher.
Because what it is, as they eat throughout the day, I don't want a bunch of dishes piled up in the sink and then I got to do them later at night. So I'm constantly rinsing dishes and putting them in. That way, at the end of the night, I put 1 or 2 more plates in and we're done.
Y'all don't understand how proud this man is about them dishes.
That's my job.
He be serious about them dishes, and I just be cracking up like, yo, you are going to get a dishwashing award. Like, dude, you be laying, and then don't put the dishes in the dishwasher thinking you're being helpful and you don't put them in the correct way.
You better put them in the right way.
He will get so frustrated and he will take them out. He'll reorganize them. And then he'll complain about it while he's doing it. Like they thought they being helpful. They didn't put the dishes in. How they gonna get washed? How that gonna get washed? They got it stacked like this.
What's so funny is I've turned into the old Monique. Monique used to be very particular about this. One day I did some laundry. This was years ago. And I'm thinking that I'm being helpful. Like I'm gonna do some laundry and I folded it up and put it in there. She came in and took everything out and refolded it and put it back in there. So I was like, I'm never doing laundry again. And I hadn't since.
It was terrible. How do you fold clothes and then you make them more wrinkled?
That's a talent. That's a talent.
I'm like, dude, I need to now put these back in the wash and start the whole process all over again.
Wasn't that bad.
Oh my God, I love it. So I think this was great. Hopefully it'll help people to be more productive and feel like the pressure isn't as great. Stop doing the whole procrastination thing. Avoid procrastination by putting action behind whatever it is that you want to achieve. Start small. Do what you can. Do what you can afford. You don't have to go out and make this great investment of money. I think that the time that you put into is actually more valuable. And that's what's going to be the most that people can recognize. It's like, wow, they put a lot of time and effort and love into this, and it'll make them want to support you. So confessions, anybody? Any confessions on busy being unproductive?
I said it earlier. I'm a procrastinator all the time. I'm procrastinating on getting stuff done. And, that's probably my biggest confession.
Yeah. Because I'll be like, Chris, when you going to do this, that, and the other? Chris.
And I'll get to it when I'm ready.
And then he doesn't get to it. I get to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep working on that, y'all. That was a great confession.
That's true.
You got one?
My confession is that I have so much clean laundry just sitting in baskets in the laundry room. It's just sitting there, and I'm procrastinating, and I know I am, and eventually I'll get to it, but not right now.
Look, let me think of, I probably have a ton of things that I could confess about. Yeah, I have a confession. My kids take way too long to clean up after themselves. They have toys. They have a whole playroom. Why can't you keep your toys in the playroom? So what I did earlier today, I threw all of their toys in the trash that were downstairs. And I do not feel bad about it because I've said 1,001 times to clean up your toys, put them away when you're done. And they think it's a joke. So I didn't throw them in the trash. We're going to give them to Purple Heart. We're going to donate their toys. So, and I told them their toys are now going to have a great new home for a child that needs them and a child that will probably clean up after themselves. And I told them, I said, if y'all can't clean up after yourselves, clearly you don't need all of these things. It's too much for you to maintain. So I definitely put all of their toys that were not put away into a big black bag. And I'm going to call Purple Heart to donate them.
That's good.
Solve that.
Check that off.
Check it off the list. All right, y'all have a great week. I can't wait till next week. We have so many great topics that we're going to be discussing this entire season. I'm really excited for season 3 and the fact that we are not just audible, but we're also visual. So check us out on our YouTube feed at Not for Lazy Moms. If you're listening, if you want to see the show and actually just see our reactions, then check out our YouTube page where these episodes will be posted. And we have so much in store. Make sure you also check out notforlazymoms.com. We have our shop that has opened. My book, Potty Training Mommy and Daddy, is available. And we are going to be doing podcast episodes about potty training to give you some tips and tricks along with the book to help you out. So y'all have a good one. Thank you so much and be safe.